Welcome back, everybody. North American Amateur League Plays of the Week, episode number 5. And I apologize last week for missing out on all the highlights across Amateur. Came down with a bit of an illness going into Halo weekend. Finally kicked it, and you knew I couldn't stay away from this amazing series. As usual with this series, though, we'll start with the Aegis Champions League, which didn't have a ton of matches played, mostly because it was the last week of the regular season, and a lot of forfeits usually come out during then, but the show match still went on last Friday, and we finally got a look at Cincinnati Fear's roster, chock full of NACL talent. But North American Challengers League talent can't stop the minions, and our bait ping play of the week, unfortunately, is a minion casualty once more, and it's Philip, top laner for Cincinnati Fear, that just does not give them enough respect.
3-0 for the Cincy Fear top laner. Playing with a little bit of fire here, taking up the minions. He gets executed.
You know, if I had a dime for every time I watch pro-level talent die to minions in the ACL this season, I'd have 2 dimes, which isn't a lot, but it's kind of funny to think that it happened twice in one season. Let's pivot over to the other solo lane for Cincinnati Fear and talk about the man, the myth, the legend, Shochi, who was cooking his special type of breed of solo kill here on the K'Sante mid in the series win for Fear. Take a look.
Skills and the attention down during the bot lane. Will it continue working? Probably. And Shochi,
Alright, he does CC immune through the shockwave, but takes a lot of damage for it. But this might be a bait. He gets the kidnap backwards, and now there's backup coming in from 2 angles. Shochi picks up the kill onto Tricky.
There is something just so intoxicating about watching how Shochi approaches the game of League of Legends. But what's a little bit more eye-catching in my mind, Amateur Uncapped League playoffs. And Risen Champs just had their lower bracket semifinals over the weekend between Gentle Hearts Gaming and Samikin Fanboys. This one was an absolute heater, folks. Went the distance all 3 games, and our first highlight from this series is the reason why it went to a 3rd game here. Gentle Hearts Gaming's mid laner Ariendel finds the most perfect shock blast that completely wins the fight and the game for GHG. Coming out, Nature's Grass doesn't matter. Diesel is already down, fired an equalizer and falls, and now they pinch Pacus. Pacus is slowed up. Topo trying to set up We Hope, but they can't get the damage across. And Nori doing a good job front to backing, and Oriental just blew up the fight. One shock blast to find them all. It's an ace and an instant. Gentle Hearts Gaming. Watching that clip back, I still can't believe Ariendel found that window for that big time of a shock blast. But this series did end up going 3 games and actually ended up in upsetting fashion. This Samikin Fanboys squad is going on an absolute tear. They ended up taking this game in 3 series, and in large part thanks to their MVP of the series, AD carry We Hope, who had highlight after highlight after highlight, but the big one that stands out comes from game 1 of this series, where he takes a 3 versus 5 on in stride for a triple kill on Xayah. There's a good death sentence onto Nori B. Do they jump the Callista? Dodging out on the seismic shove, but what a hostile takeover! Pacus slays Samikin and lets Nori B run wild, hopping around trying to slam as many kills as he can. Doesn't pull the Ren just yet because We Hope is also dishing out the feathers. They're trying to get to the Xayah, but Diesel has to go going to Nori B, flashing forward. Who wins it? It's We Hope! Shuts down the Hope for Gentle Hearts with a massive triple kill! Holy, there is a lot of great marksman talent right now at the NA Amateur Tier 3 level. And luckily for you guys at home, you can watch We Hope in Risen Champs playoffs as Samikin Fanboys continue to move through the bracket. Fortunately, though, that is the final stop here for this week's episode of NAAM Plays of the Week. I know, a bit of a short one. That's the problem when some of these leagues finally come to a close, and the big-time uncapped ones have a ton of forfeits going into playoffs. But don't worry, folks. Once ACL hits playoffs, we're going to have a ton of coverage on the biggest playoff series in Amateur this year. So I, as always, implore you to send me clips from those playoff matches. You've got my socials down below per usual. It's been a pleasure being able to get back on here and show you guys some of the best talent right now in Tier 3 NA League of Legends. But until next week, keep on enjoying the fall weather before it gets too cold, and I'll see you guys again when I see you. Take care.